What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of MLB The Show 19 Dream Cards. This is the series where we talk about all the cards that we want to see in the next installment of MLB The Show. There's no rules and there's no restrictions on the cards that we can talk about. We can make a new series. We can talk about players from any era of baseball. It's all under the umbrella of the Dream Cards. Every video we talk about 4 different cards, 2 flashbacks and 2 legends, 2 pitchers and 2 hitters. And this series is all about the comments that you guys leave. So right now, go down there and let me know which cards you want to see in MLB The Show next year, and you might be featured in the next episode of Dream Cards. So today we got 4 new cards to talk about, and all 4 of them would be really solid guys to add into MLB The Show 19. All right, today we're going to go ahead and start it off with the flashback hitter of the week. So flashbacks, of course, are guys that are still currently in the league, and you give them a card from a previous year during their career. Last week, I believe the flashback hitter of the week was Cody Bellinger. I wanted a 2017 Bellinger rookie card, but this time around we're going to stay in the same division, but we're going to go to the Dodgers rival, and we're going to talk about a guy on the San Francisco Giants. This is a card that I see suggested a lot, and I usually kind of overlook it because I think to myself, wait, we already have that card, but then I do a double check and we actually don't. So the card that we are going to be talking about, as suggested by you guys in the comments, is a 2012 postseason Pablo Sandoval. Now, the card that I instantly was thinking of is the 2009 breakout card that we already have in MLB The Show 18, and the card's okay. It's like an 85 overall. It's not great, but you know, it's still in the game. But a 2012 postseason Pablo Sandoval would be insane. If we just take a look at the World Series, don't even count the championship series or the division series, just take a look at the World Series. First off, he won the World Series MVP. He was the best player on the Giants during that series. He had a 500 average with a 529 on base. He slugged over 1,000 in the World Series with an OPS at over 1,600. Those are video game numbers, man. He had 3 home runs in that series, all of them in one game. He had a double. He had 8 hits in 4 games and 16 at-bats. Like, dude, he was on top of the world during this World Series. And then you take a look at even earlier. You can go to the championship series against the St. Louis Cardinals that went 7 games. He hit 310 with a 355 on base, a 586 slugging, and a 941 OPS with 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, and 9 hits with 2 doubles. And then you go a series before that, you go to the National League Division Series against the Cincinnati Reds, where he hit 333 with a 318 on base, a 571 slugging, and an 890 OPS. He had a home run with 3 RBIs, 7 hits in that series. Dude, he was all over the place in the postseason for the Giants. He was Mr. Consistent. So I think Pablo Sandoval would get a really nice 2012 postseason card because I think you could add some power in there, having 6 home runs during the, 16 games that he played in the postseason. Obviously, you're going to get the contact because he was getting on base. His averages were high. He wasn't like a stellar defender in 2012, according to his defensive WAR, which is at a -0.2, so he's not like the greatest defender over there, at least in terms of this season. But I think if you just give this guy a really nice hitting card, I think he could be probably a mid-tier diamond. So I'm going to give Pablo Sandoval around anywhere from like a 93 to a 95 diamond, somewhere around there for the 2012 postseason. I would really like to see this card, and I know some of my Giants fans in the comments would love to see it as well. All right, so that is the flashback hitter of the week. Now it's time to go ahead and move over to a brand new legend pitcher. Now this card, probably behind Randy Johnson, is the pitcher that I want to see more than anything in MLB The Show 19, because Randy Johnson I want more than anything because he's a big lefty and he's really good, obviously. This is probably the #1 right-handed guy I would love to see in the game. This is one of the best pitchers of all time. He's commented in almost every single video, and I grew up watching this guy when he was with the Boston Red Sox, so I'm gonna say I want to see a Pedro Martinez card in MLB The Show 19. Now with Pedro, you could go in so many different directions. There's so many different cards you could go with. You could go with a 1997 version of his card when he won the Cy Young Award, his first Cy Young Award with the Montreal Expos, so it would technically be a Nationals flashback. He had a 1.90 ERA and over 240 innings pitched that season. Just just nutty numbers. Or you could go to the 2000 season where he won his third Cy Young Award, finished 5th in the MVP voting when he had a 1.74 ERA that year. You could go with a 2004 postseason card when he won the World Series with the Boston Red Sox, the year that they broke the curse. But if I'm going to get a Pedro Martinez card, I think the one that I will want the most would be a 1999 version. In 1999, Pedro Martinez had a 2.07 ERA in 213 innings pitched. He had 313 strikeouts to only 37 walks, a 6.8 hits per nine, 0.4 home runs per nine, 1.6 walks per nine, and a 13.2 strikeout per nine. He was an all-star. He won the Cy Young. He finished second place in the MVP voting. He had 5 complete games with 1 complete game shutout. He led the league in WAR, ERA, wins, whip, hits per nine, strikeouts per nine, home runs per nine, and strikeout to walk ratio. This dude was just one of the most fun guys to watch. That two-seam that would come in on righties was just insane, dude. I don't know how anybody even made contact against this guy. By the way, he finished second place in the MVP this year, so he was almost a Cy Young and MVP winner in the same season, similar to the Justin Verlander card we talked about last week. But either way, man, like I said, there's so many different ways that you can go with a Pedro Martinez card. This was an incredible pitching season, so I gotta give him a 99 overall hardware card, 100%. But as I was saying, you get Pedro Martinez in the game, there are like 4 or 5 different cards you could get with this guy, and I would love to see him in MLB The Show 19. All right, let's go ahead and stay on the mound as we talk about the flashback pitcher for the week. This is gonna come from a very specific comment. I was scrolling through them, and I was just kind of seeing if there was any that caught my eye, and there was one from Blake. He's actually a mod in my Twitch stream, so good suggestion, man. He talked about 2017 Archie Bradley. Now, I didn't really know much about Archie Bradley's 2017 season, so I went and I took a look at the stats, and this guy was really good as a reliever. He had a 1.73 ERA in 73 innings pitched, 79 strikeouts to 21 walks, a 6.8 hits per nine, 0.5 home runs per nine, 2.6 walks per nine, and a 9.7 strikeouts per nine. He had a 1.041 whip, and he only allowed 4 home runs in the 73 innings that he pitched for the D-backs. He was their go-to guy in 2017. He was really consistent out of the bullpen, and I think if you look at just this single season, this would 100% be his breakout season. I mean, if you look at 2015, he had an ERA at 5.8, but he was coming in as a starter. If you look at 2016, he had an ERA of 5.02, so a little bit lower, but still over 5, but once again, he was also a starter, and then once they moved him to the bullpen in 2017, it just clicked. He was a much better pitcher. If you just single out this season, if you were going to give him a card based on this season, he would 100% be a diamond in my opinion. I think he'd probably be around like a 90 overall, because I think the walks are a little bit too much. Even though it was only 21, it wasn't like a crazy amount of walks. It is still a decent amount of walks compared to his strikeouts. So I think he'd get anywhere from an 89 to like a 91, 92, somewhere in that range, but I still think he would be a very effective card to use in MLB The Show. All right, that just leaves the legend hitter for the week, guys. The new legend hitter that I would love to see in MLB The Show 19. There's a lot of them, and once again, similar to Pedro Martinez, this guy is commented about in almost every single video. Let's get Mickey Mantle in MLB The Show. As a switch hitter, he would be awesome. Once again, similar to Pedro, so many different directions you could go with this card. You could go with 1957, where he won his second MVP. You could go with a 1960 postseason card, where in the World Series, he hit 400, had an OPS of 1345, hit 3 home runs, 11 RBIs, and had 10 total hits in 25 at-bats. And one that I think would be cool would be 1961. It wouldn't be an MVP card because he finished second place in the MVP voting, so it would be an all-star card. But the reason I would love to see a 1961 card is because his teammate Roger Maris in that season were chasing the home run record. Both of them were going at it. Now, this is just personal preference, but the only reason I would want a 1961 Mickey Mantle is only if I could get the 1961 Roger Maris in the game as well. If you can give me, if you can't give me both, then don't give me the 1961, but still give me Mickey Mantle because I want a different season. I want a 1956 hardware Mickey Mantle. Dude, this season he hit 353 with a 464 on base. He slugged 705, had an OPS over 1100. He had 52 home runs, 130 RBIs, 22 doubles, 188 hits, 132 runs scored. He was an all-star. Obviously, he won the MVP, and he won the Triple Crown this year. He led the league in average, home runs, and RBIs. So obviously, he was a pretty damn good hitter. He led the league in WAR, average, slugging, OPS, runs, total bases, home runs, RBIs, you name it. This is an amazing hitting season. And the good thing about this card is that he would be a switch hitter. He would be so much fun to use because you would never have to worry about matchups with this guy. He'd be a beast from both sides of the plate. Like against lefties, he hit 375, and then against righties, he hit 342. He was insane against both sides. He's gonna be a beast. He's gonna be like Beltron. So Mickey Mantle is the legend hitter that I want to see. If I was gonna give him a rating, 100%, I would give him a 99, especially for a Triple Crown season like this. I gotta give him a 99 overall, man. He would just be electric to use in the game. Alright guys, so those are the 4 cards that we're gonna talk about in this episode of Dream Cards. Like I said, leave your comments down below. Let me know who you want to see in MLB The Show 19. Also, make sure to go check out the few other videos of Dream Cards that we have in this series, because the card that you're suggesting might have already been talked about. So make sure you keep an eye on those just in case you don't do duplicates. But guys, thank you so much for watching this. Drop a thumbs up on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.